Hello, Dr. Zheng. I am Drinking Nam. I'm going to present my. I'm going to demo my final year project. My title is Factor Programming for the Infection Device. And as the COVID-19 pandemic has brought global attention to the importance of maintaining safe and healthy environment, as the virus can transmitted through the air. So here is a going lead for effective disinfection device, and the UVC light is one of the effective solution, as it has potential to up to 99.9% elimination. So and it's portable and convenient, so we can use on the daily life. But is the problem is the cost. The commercial UVC the infection device can be expensive. So here is the motivation of using the mobile apps to control the UVC, so we can um, reduce the cost, such as the camera or the screen or like this. So here's the aim of using Facta to control is to control the UVC disinfection device and provide a easy to use and attractive application. So for the Android application, it provide an attractive and user-friendly user interface. Four languages are available, and authentication system. User can create account or log in, and the QR code activate key system, as the customer need to buy a key before they so that they can use the service. And I also use the embedded system to connect a MCU to control a 5 UVC the inversion device, as you can't control it using Facta directly. So is the environment. So I work as a team member on the Professor Learn's research team. I mainly focus on the Android application, as there and other programmer respond for the uh, responsibility for the iOS. So and I also need to maintain the effective communication with other programmer and participate in the weekly Zoom meeting with Professor Learn, and I need to present my idea and outcome to the Professor Learns during the meeting, so it can maintain the quality of my work for the project, as Professor Learn will give me the comment of my outcome. So here's the schedule of semester A. On semester A, I've mainly focused on the research on the factor and the IR filter and the image processing, such that mainly focus on the researching. And on the semester B, I focus on the implementation. I design the system which I mentioned before, and try to implement them and testing. So here's the methodology. So the target device is the Android phone, and the support version is 5.1 above, as I tried before. If it is lower than 5.1, it cannot it's the program cannot run. So and the recommended version is 11, Android 11, as I'm using mostly using this version to test. So this version is it can run very fluently, and the network is needed, as it need to communicate with the servers, and the permission uh, is the other camera, internet, and need to read and write on the local storage. So here the software I use, which is the VS Code for the development environment, and the Android Studio is also needed for the creating the emulator. Here show on the picture for testing, and the Facta, which is the core platform application, can create the cross platform application. and I use GitHub for communicate with other programmer. And the emulator I'm mainly using is the Pixel 2. And for the hardware, I use the embedded system, which is the RK5368, and the resolution is 12x0 time x00, and the MCU I use for testing is using Arduino. And here is the overview of the application. You can see here's the flow diagram, and I can show the video which I record for the demonstration. So um, here's the video. First, you can see when you open the apps, you will go in. If when you are first time to use, you will go into the page with the select language page, and um, uh, and here is the videos which test for when the user first time to use the program. You can see I choose the Japan for the my first language. The program will check your current language, so you can see when I open the apps will show Japanese, and when I change back to the uh, Chinese, and you can see the apps will automatically change back to the Chinese. So it's for the is can for the more user friendly for the user. And here is we can continue the flow, and when you select a language and you click next step, and you go to the login page, and you type your account, and when you as the emulator has the very long delay of the Firebase, but it can work very well on the real emulator, so don't worry about it. And you can see when it's finished the loading, and it will go to the QR code page. And first you have to accept the permission for the camera, and then when you click it, and here's the QR code we've used for testing, and you can see when the QR code is scanned, and you can see the database is the variable of user is changed to true, so it means this code is used. And it will go to the home page, and here is the program which is developed for the other programmer, and I integrate to my application. But the UI is decided for me. Only the function is the design for the other programmer. So here is the setting page, and I can change my username, and you can see here I type error and successfully, and here is my username changed to error. And here's the other setting page. Here's the language page, and you can see when I change it to Chinese, it changed to Chinese. And here's the function which show we can change the table of the home page. So you can see the home page is this three virus, but when I click save, when I click click save, it update to new free virus. You can see. Okay, and here is the content us page, and here is the logout page. So when you log out, you go back to the login page. So here's the flow of my application. So here's the UI design. So here's the old version and the final version. This the first time I present to the professor learn, and I get the comment from him, and I change it to this one. And here's same. Here's the old sign up page, and setting page, and this the loading page, and here's the home page. Here's the content page, and here's the QR code page. For the old version, the user when he scan a QR code, he need to click the button send. So is very unusual friendly. So I change it to when it detect QR code, it will automatically send to the server. So it's the other page. And here's the scanning animation I used in the QR code page. You can see that the animation is going up to down. And here's the effect of the button. When you click the button on the home page, it will change to red, so the user know they are clicking the button. And here's the sounds. Also has a sound effect to mention that is click enough, is pressed enough time. You can stop pressing the button. And here's the other effect, but I not using on the final version, as Professor Learn said that is too fancy. So these two effects I am not using. The one is the confetti animation when you click the button, and the confetti will pop up. And this one is the screen will turn white. And here's the design on the language page, and here's the full chart. Here is the two method of how you change your language. This when you first time you go into apps, you can change, and you can also after you activate the QR code, you also can go to the setting page to change your language. And I also use this package, which is easy localization, as you can see the all language are well organized on this file, and the people who want to add the new language, they don't need to know the coding of my program. They just add a JSON file on here and follow my format. So it is easy for maintain. So here's the database I use, which the Firebase, which the cow database. So I don't, my time is limit, so I use the cow database. So I don't need to set up by myself. And here's the REST API I use on the back end. This one is for the example for create a user, and I use Postman for testing. And here's how the database look like when here's the user, all user is stored here, and is the authentication system, and also more detailed information will store in here. And here's the QR code key which is stored in here, and here's the authentication system how I design it, and here's the flowchart. So here when you I also provide a method is using Google to log in. You can see here, and show you the video is using Google to log in. When you press the button of sign with Google, and firstly you will go to the information page and select your own account or add a new account on here. And when you click it, and after the loading, you will go to the apps. So it allows to use Google to log in. And here's the error handling. So after the checking your is no error, it will go to the home page. As is the real world application, so it need to make sure that the apps can handle the error. So it is very important. And here's the QR code activating key system. So here's two API I write for this this system. So here also has the error handling part. After the error handling, it will go to the home page. So here's the communication between the MUI and Factor. So here's the video I use for testing. So you can see this as I not getting the real UVC device at the end, so I use this for testing. So I use Factor. I use embedded system connect to the Arduino by using the USB cable, and you can see that when I input 1, it means that I turn on the light. So in the similar the case is that this MUI is connect to the far UVC light. When it send 1 to the MCU, the MCU will on the on the UVC light. And when I send 2, and it will turn off the UVC light. So here's the setting page for the change the name, and here's the API I use for it. Upload to the server, and here's the setting page. And here is the test case for QR code testing. This 4 test case. The first one is fairly code and not used. It will successfully log in, and here's used, but same device is also can log in. But if used but not the same device, it cannot log in, and invalid code also cannot log in. So here's the error handling on the login page. You can see when it's loud, it will return the warning message, and also the format is not correct for the email. It will also to remind the user it's not correct. Please change it. And here's the result when the password length is less than 6. Will also mention the user, and no internet, incorrect email, incorrect password. So here's the using Google to log in, and here's the result of error handling on the setup page. Also it not allow loud input. Is the email format and the password length, and the confirm password need to same with the password. So if the email is already exists and is no internet, and is the how it look like when it's using different language, is using different language on the home page. And I also use to test on other different phone, which is Pixel 5. So I use 3 type of different phone for testing. So most of the popular screen I tested, so it's to make sure that it can run properly on the real life. So here's the conclusion. So my application are well performing with error handling, and is easy to maintain, and further development, and also the function and user interface are user friendly. So thank you for your listening. Here's my demonstration. Thank you.